Hi there, my name is Mark. I've been growing hot peppers for a couple of years. Just want to do a quick walkthrough of what I have growing downstairs here. I have a 8-bulb T5 lamp. Get a better view here. And I have 3 fairly large size peppers here. I've got, these must be, maybe 14 inches and above for height. This one here is actually a Carolina Reaper. That right now is the world's hottest pepper. One to the right here, this one has quite a few flowers, which I had actually a lot of flower drop, but ever since changing my nutrient solution, I am getting a lot better hold on the flowers. They're not falling off quite as easy. I'm just thinking it may be a lack of nutrient or too much just nutrient itself that may have been hurting it before. And we've got a third one here. Both of these are Bubblegum 7-pot peppers. These ones actually have quite a pretty good looking pepper. As it ripens red, the stem itself will actually ripen up through. I'm hoping that these grow true. I will be trading or selling some seed on these eventually. Here is some of the nutrients that I use. I grow specifically in the Pro Mix. This is just a new version of the Pro Mix, and this one actually is better because this actually has the micro active in it, just pretty much a mycorrhizae inside the soil itself. But this is a compressed bale, so we have a 2 cubic foot compressed bale. This is quite heavy. This is a 36-pound bale, but it's a brick when you're carrying it. It's a fairly large size bale. And we're going to go over some nutrients here, since my Pro Mix really has very minimal nutrients, if any at all, in it. When I'm mixing my nutrients, usually I'm using my General Hydroponics Flora series. That's my heater kicking on down here for my hot water. We have our Flora Micro. That's rated at 501. Flora Grow, it's rated for 216. Bloom, this is just jungle juice. It's the same formulation as the Flora series, but it's just made by a different company, a little cheaper. You can get these bottles at my local grow shop for probably around $18, $20, $21 for. There's some mixing instructions in the back here, if we can, there you go. So what I had been doing for a while was just a Lucas formula, which is just giving it 8 mLs of micro and 16 mLs of bloom. And what you want to do is always remember to mix your micro first. Put that in the water. When I first started these plants also, I was putting in CalMag Plus, and this is rated at 200. So as we see here, that's going to be 2% nitrogen, and then that has the calcium and magnesium that a lot of these plants need. This is good stuff. It's kind of thick. Make sure to give it a good shake. Also, when mixing nutrients, it's good to have a kit around, something like this, a pH control kit. I also have a meter that I test everything with. So I usually use my handheld meter to test all my mixes with. But with this, there's a quick chart on it that shows pH levels, and as it shows there, 5.5 to 6.5 as ideal pH for plant growth. And that gives you, if you look on the areas on here, probably a bad reflection, but the thicker the lines, more towards the middle there in the 5.5 to 6.5, means your plant's going to have more nutrient uptake of the actual nutrients that are available. So if you have a more acidic, you can see there that if your soil is a 4 for acid, it's barely going to pick up any nitrogen at all. But as you get more towards the 6.5 area, you're now going to get the nitrogen, the phosphorus, the potassium, calcium, magnesium, and some of the other things for the actual nutrients in there at that pH level. So definitely ideal to pH balance your nutrient mix, which I'll make a video for that. At this point, I've moved to just using one single. This is Maxi Bloom by General Hydroponics. This is a 5-15-14. I was getting a lot of drop for flowers. So with this, it says to use 1 to 2 teaspoons per gallon of fresh water, or 5 to 10 grams per 4 liters of fresh water. I had been just using a food scale and popping it into a little serving cup and getting out 10 grams and feeding them with that. I just changed my solution or my feeding regimen on these to be using that for nutrients. And ever since doing that, I'm not getting the flower drop that I was before. Before I would give the flowers a tap and I would just knock the flowers right off. You probably see I have maybe 1 or 2 down there, flowers that had fallen off. And those had fallen off, just a small tap. I've also changed over to put a fan on them for a little while. So right now, I'm actually going to turn the fan on just to show you. It's kind of close, but we have some pretty heavy winds. I live in Maine. We have some pretty heavy winds outside, and it's not hurting my plants outside at all, but it's also going to help indoors since there's no pollinating insects. That this is going to help shake those flowers around the stem. It'll thicken out the stems, make the plant a little more sturdy, and then when it had heavier fruit on it, it will help it. Plus, it's going to give you pollination, but not really cross-pollination because there's no insects going plant to plant. When I do eventually see these pick up and start putting off some pollen, I probably hand pollinate them. The 2 Bubblegum 7 pots, I'll just pollinate with a single Q-tip, and then I'll either use a finger or another Q-tip for the Carolina Reaper. I may be doing a cross between the 2 of them, so I may be trying to do a Carolina Reaper with the Bubblegum pollen, which would give me possibly the colorization of the stem. So I may be able to get a Carolina Reaper with the Bubblegum red stem on it, which would be quite a good cross. Just a quick overview here. Once again, I'll show you how big these plants compare to things. If you let's see what we have for size. Here's a bottle. Compared to this bottle, it's a fairly good size plant for a hand. You can see how big this leaf is down here. At the very beginning, I gave them quite a bit of nutrient solution that was a little heavier in nitrogen. I let back because I would rather have flowers. And as you can see now that I've changed the nutrient solution, there's quite a few flowers popping up all over. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and a couple more there. If we get a good top-down view, there's quite a few you can pick up in here. It's healthy plants, a little light. You can see when it's going to be time to water soon. We get some dryness on the soil. Let's see how dry that is right now. So we're going to wait until these droop. I can post a picture in here to show what these actually look like when they droop. It will not hurt them whatsoever. It used to be a habitual over-waterer, and I would water and water, think I just need to water these, but no. Wait until your plants droop before you water them. It can actually be bad for the plants, bad for the roots. Pepper plants do not like to have wet roots. Tomatoes, no problem. I drown my tomatoes outside. I have a 7-foot tomato outside. I must drown that thing with water every day, and it loves it. Probably grown 3 feet a month, at least. Here, once again, this is the Carolina Reaper, HP 22B. And if we look, there are some flowers. I think I saw an open flower too. No pollen that I can see yet, but they're a lot stronger now that I've put the fan on these for a while. Just wanted to give you a good update. These are in a 3-gallon pot. So pretty high for a pot. I don't know if they're a true 3-gallon. These are a container that I get from my local grow shop. This is one of them here. Got Pro Can number 3. I guess this is the company, Pro Cal. And this is a fairly decent pot. I don't want to go any higher than this inside because of the fact of just having a monster plant. I had actually used quite a pot design collection here. These pots were a good size pot. I think these are a 7 by 7. Put the camera down for a second. They're like a 7 by 7 by 9. This was a decent sized pot. I'd grown some. These I had my reapers in last year. Just peeled some tags off of them. But as you can see, a little taller, and which would give it more roots for a deeper root system. And the plants did get quite a bit taller, but they were completely root bound in these containers. So I'm just giving it a better width here for a container for those roots to spread out. I may be trying some air pots at some point. And I might even be doing some air pruning and take some clones off some of these plants by wrapping either a plug around the stem, trim off a couple of leaves, and then at that point, get the plug wet and wrap it, or take a piece of a small water bottle or a cup, and wrap it around it, and then the roots themselves will shoot off the side of the stem. I have not tried it with pepper plants. I'm going to look it up and try it just to see if it's going to be working. But right at the moment, I know I'm going to be trying it with some tomatoes this afternoon. I have a very large tomato plant outside that is going to topple over soon because it's a beefsteak tomato, and it must have over probably 65 or 85 flowers and close to probably 30 to 40 tomatoes growing on it right now. Small tomatoes, but they're going to be getting large here pretty soon. I'm going to be trying that method to get those going. But once again, it's a good view of my flowering. The stems here. See a fingertip. It's probably about as wide as, not as wide as my pinky, but it's a pretty thick stem. Give these a little tap. If there's any pollen. And I had these closer, but I think it was putting off a little too much heat right at the top, and you can feel it with your hand if you get too close here. That is too close, so I jacked up the light a little bit. I've got just kind of a pulley here. This is something else I got at my local grow shop, and as you want to raise and lower, you just pull on the string and it picks it up. Right now it's a little too much weight for one side to pull at a time, so you got to kind of distribute the weight a little bit to get it up. But this is a single fixture. You turn it off. You can turn on and off. Right now those are the inner bulbs. Those are the outer bulbs. And you can turn the inner back on. So for a while I just had some plants down the middle, and I could just turn on 2 of the bulbs, which only would use about 200 versus 400 watts to drive the light, which is a lot of very good savings running the light. But for me, it's been worth it having indoor light because control cross-pollination, keep everything nice and clean, no bugs. I'm using my Pro Mix, and that just everything shoots up, massive root systems, healthy plants. I must have given away probably 200 plus plants this summer to people I work with or friends and family, some neighbors. This is a couple of my plants. I'm really hopeful for these Bubblegum 7 pot. These are quite the plant. They're healthy. They're nice plant. I'm hoping they grow true. I will be seeing here very, very soon if these are going to grow true. But thanks for watching. Please rate, comment, and subscribe. Thank you.